Good evening, fans and fanatics, and welcome to Gifted Radical Wrestling Recap. And I'll be doing the recap today on Monday Night Raw and the events that are going to happen leading into Money in the Bank. So first off, I'd like to start you guys off with some unbelievable crazy news. Now, the WWE, according to some of the sources that I have read upon, are going to start allowing fans to attend some of their live events. But now, this will be occurring sometime in May 4th. This was when the news started spreading out, so we don't know how for sure this is going to happen. But if it does occur, guys, they will only be at a 25% capacity, which means in the Performance Center, there's a max of maybe 200 to maybe 500 people estimated, roughly. But that means with 25% of people coming in, it will only be 50 to 75 people being able to attend a live show. Now, do you guys think that's a joke? I don't know. I'd rather it be some fans than no fans. They can get some wrestlers, and that way everybody can stay protected. You know, this pandemic is still an ongoing thing. There's still people who have symptoms. They're asymptomatic, who aren't showing any signs. So maybe it might be a risk for the wrestlers. It might be a risk for the people who are going to attend, the fans and the fanatics. So if you guys think it's a joke or if it's a good idea, leave your comments below. So now, let's get into the recap. We start off on Monday Night Raw, once again, with this guy, MVP. And he's in the VIP lounge, and he calls out 3 of the women who will be doing the Money in the Bank ladder match, which is Shayna Baszler, Asuka, and Nia Jax. So now, why he brings them out here, I have no idea. He's trying to see what everybody's thinking, how they're feeling coming up to Money in the Bank. So they start going back and forth, Shayna and Asuka, for a little bit, but then they end up double teaming Nia Jax and kicking her, knocking her off of her seat. She rolls out of the ring to avoid the conflict because they're trying to double team her. So that's how they cap off with the VIP lounge. But now we're coming into a Money in the Bank gauntlet match to kick off Raw. As everybody's aware, Apollo Crews is injured, so he's eliminated. So right now we're going to have this gauntlet match, and the first contestants will be Bobby Lashley and Titus O'Neil, Mr. Worldwide. And to no avail, Bobby Lashley makes quick work of Titus. I mean, as of late, Titus really hasn't been seen on TV. He's kind of in a jobber position now, just getting his ass whipped from time to time, falling when he's running into the ring. So Titus is pretty much a joke right now. Bobby squashes him, moves forward, hits him with a spear. Good night, Titus O'Neil. So then we have Tozawa, who comes out. He's the next contestant in the gauntlet matchup against Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley just ultimately squashes Tozawa. I mean, Tozawa was no match for Bobby. Again, Tozawa is a cruiserweight. He should not be in the ring with these guys. He can really get hurt. So Bobby sends him packing, gets squashed. So the next contestant that comes in is Shelton Benjamin. Now Shelton Benjamin gives Bobby a run for his money. Going a little bit back and forth or whatever, they end up going outside, and Bobby punishes him outside, throwing him around. You know, Shelton mounts a little bit of offense as Bobby's trying to get back into the ring, but no success. Bobby ends up hitting him with the spear as well, sending him packing. He's out of there. Lashley moves on. So now we have this guy, Humberto Carrillo. Now, Humberto Carrillo, he's a high flyer. He gives Bobby a run for his money in the beginning of the match with his little aerials, but Bobby stops him in his tracks. So then he starts going to work, but he becomes a little too aggressive with Humberto in the corner and pushes the ref off of him because the ref is trying to break him for the count. He pushes the ref off of him, and the ref ultimately disqualifies Bobby Lashley. Yes, guys, Bobby Lashley was looking unstoppable. He was looking unbeatable. In my opinion, I thought he was going to move on and become the next contestant, the final contestant for the Money in the Bank ladder match. But the ref disqualified him. I thought it was bad reffing on that ref's behalf, and Carrillo ends up moving forward. But after that, Bobby gets so angry, tosses Carrillo from the corner all the way across the ring, hitting him with a vicious, vicious spear. And I mean, he kind of knocked him into the land before time, guys, damaging his midsection. Finally, they get him out of there. He's the next contestant, the Lethal Lothario with the Muñeca, Zelina Vega. So they come out and he's working them. He's really working them, and he's working the midsection. He's toying with him, punishing his cousin Humberto Carrillo because they are related. They're cousins, and they both have that lucha libre kind of background. You know, they're high flyers. They're both, you know, they're from the Mexican traditional wrestling. You know, those guys they're great in the ropes, in and out of the ropes, in the ring. They're great technicians. But Angel Garza, he's a technician within his own right, and he keeps him grounded. But he starts to play with Humberto for a while. There you see Garza hitting him with the moonsault, and he's performing his acrobatics and everything like that. But he starts to get reckless with Carrillo. So Carrillo ends up getting put into the wing clipper, which is Angel Garza's finishing maneuver, guys. But ultimately rolls Angel Garza up to pick up the victory. So he moves on, again, beating Angel Garza. Humberto moves forward in the gauntlet match, and then we have Mr. All Day, Austin Theory. He's another one of Zelina Vega's clients, one of her cronies, whatever you want to call it. And they're having a good match as well. They're going a little bit back and forth, but Austin Theory kind of stops Humberto in his tracks. He's a lot stronger than Humberto. He's a lot bigger than him. Humberto tries to do his little high-flying maneuvers, but to no avail, guys. He gets stopped in his tracks. And Austin Theory kind of like underestimates him. He goes for a superplex off of the top rope, guys, and ends up getting rolled up. As soon as they hit the mat, Humberto Carrillo rolls Austin Theory up, wraps his legs up, and picks up the victory, guys. He moves on in the gauntlet match. So, hey, it's looking good for him, but he's been through 2 tough fights already. 3, you can say, if you want to count Bobby Lashley, and you know the punishment that Bobby Lashley put on him as well. But then the final match that he has is with the one and only phenomenal AJ Styles. Yes, AJ Styles is back from being buried at the Boneyard match at WrestleMania with The Undertaker. AJ goes to work. They have a good back and forth match. You know, Carrillo puts up some offense, but AJ, he's a technician. He's a tactical specialist. He's a veteran. He starts working Carrillo's legs, hitting him with the dragon screw leg twists and damaging the leg, going for the leg, working the midsection. They go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But ultimately, AJ puts Humberto in a viciously deep calf crusher. That's one of AJ's finishing maneuvers. It's a submission maneuver. I haven't seen anybody yet who was around the same size or maybe just a little bit bigger than AJ Styles break out of the calf crusher or get any type of offense from the calf crusher. Nobody's done it. Carrillo has no choice but to tap, stopping his chances on moving forward into the Money in the Bank match. And AJ Styles picks up the victory, which makes him the final contestant moving into Money in the Bank, taking Apollo Cruz's place. So after the victory, he starts slamming Carrillo's leg into the turnpost, viciously attacking Carrillo, adding further insult to that. Then he goes onto the microphone and he starts talking that he knows that he's been on the dark side. Undertaker buried him. He's been in the dark side. He knows what it's like. There's no dead man to take this opportunity from him to steal his glory. And he's going to do whatever it takes to win this Money in the Bank contract. Even if he has to throw Rey Mysterio off of the building. Even if he has to throw Aleister Black off of the building, which are some of the contestants in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He does not care. He is going to do anything and everything to become Mr. Phenomenal Money in the Bank, guys. It will be worth it for him, and he will do anything. The risk is worth the reward for Mr. Styles. And the determination that he came back with, the ferocity, the viciousness, I mean, I think it's going to be a really good ladder match for the guys, man. You got to stay tuned. Leave your comments below. So then we have an interview with the Monday Night Haraya, Seth Rollins. And he comes out there. Charlie's kind of asking him, how does he feel about his match? How does he feel about the match that Murphy's going to be having later on with Drew McIntyre? And he states that Drew McIntyre is not a leader. And he's going to do what he's supposed to do. He's going to show Drew why he's the Messiah. He's going to beat Drew for the title, and it's going to be his destiny to become the champion. So, I don't know. He feels as though that if he beats Drew McIntyre, he's going to be saving Drew McIntyre from some type of burden of being the champion. Now, Drew McIntyre, he is the champion right now. He beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. 20 minutes after that match, he had a title match with The Big Show, which in my opinion lasted a lot longer than his actual title match with Brock Lesnar. Defended his title and was successful defending the title, beating The Big Show. So, I mean, Seth Rollins has walked down that same path, beating Brock Lesnar in the past, but this is a different Drew McIntyre, guys. He's the champ. He's a proud champ. He's a fighting champ. And I don't know. I don't think Seth Rollins is ready for this Drew McIntyre. So he just keeps on going, running and rambling, you know, talking to anybody that would listen. And he's going to let everybody know that come Money in the Bank, he will be the champion, the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. But we'll see how it goes, guys. I don't think that he has a pretty good chance unless somebody goes in there and throws a monkey wrench in the plan. But my money's on Drew McIntyre, guys. So then we have another match, which is a rematch between Brandon Vick, Shane Thorn. These are a couple of MVP guys, newly recorded by MVP. And they're going up against Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. Now, Ricochet and Alexander right now are some of the hottest tag teams in the WWE right now. They work really good together. They're sufficient with the tags. They're in and out. They're always keeping each other fresh. They're both acrobatic. They're hard-hitting. And beginning of the match is good. They're going back and forth. Vink and the guy Thorn, they're a good tag team as well, in my opinion. They're just a little bit more grounded. They're hard-hitting. And Ricochet and Alexander picked up the victory on these guys before. So these guys are seeking redemption. Like I said, they go back and forth inside of the ring, outside of the ring, hitting each other with double teams. Ricochet hits them with double teams with Cedric. Thorn and Vink hit Ricochet with double teams. I mean, it's crazy, guys. And then ultimately, Vink hits Ricochet with the big boot to knock Ricochet's head smooth off of his shoulders and put him to sleep, picking up the victory. Yes, guys, it was an upset victory. The guy Thorn and Shane, Vink, they move on. So now they are actually one apiece, guys. Ricochet and Cedric beat them a couple weeks back. They beat them this week. So it might be a beginning of a good rivalry. Let's see how it goes. In my opinion, I think if they add a little bit more things to the match, maybe like a no holds barred match or maybe a TLC match, you know, bring some of the classics back. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. What type of match these guys should be having. You know, in my opinion, I think it'll be good. More fuel to the fire. They need a little bit more fresh blood, new tag teams. And this is a good way to jumpstart it. So the Street Profits come out and they're addressing the Viking Raiders. Now, as everybody knows, the Viking Raiders have 2 victories over the Street Profits, and this was before they became the Raw Tag Team Champions. Now, what everybody I'm pretty sure is not aware of, that the Street Profits did not beat the Viking Raiders to become Raw Tag Team Champions. The OC did, and the OC lost the championships to the Street Profits. So now the Street Profits they're seeking redemption. They want to show everybody that they're the top team. That's why they're the champs, and they want to get their revenge on the Viking Raiders. But these guys have a phenomenal match, in my opinion. The Viking Raiders and the Street Profits, they match really good in the ring together. Their chemistry is phenomenal. It was a hard-hitting match on both ends, guys. They was hitting each other with everything except the kitchen sink. It was double teams everywhere. Dawkins and Ford, these guys know each other like the back of their hand, as well as Ivar and Eric. There you see Montez right there. Not Montez, Dawkins hitting Eric with a back splash. And Ford is hitting Ivar with some spinning drop kicks and everything like that. But I'm telling you guys, if you didn't see that match, you guys should check it out. It was a great match. It was back and forth, back and forth. No team wanted to be denied. The Street Profits did not want to be denied. They're a prideful team. They're from the hood. They want the smoke. And the Viking Raiders just want to show that why they are so dominant, why they are the Vikings, and why they raid. Because when they come, they raid and they pillage and they take what they want. So ultimately, the Viking Raiders hit Dawkins with the Viking experience, putting them down, pinning them. And now this was a non-title match, guys. So this is going to propel the Viking Raiders into title contention. Because not only have they beaten them 2 times previously, now this is the 3rd time. So the Viking Raiders are 3-0 against the Street Profits. Now I'm not sure if they're going to set up some type of match for Money in the Bank. But if they do, I think that'd be great. Have a ladder match or something like that. Maybe if they have a ladder match, the Street Profits will become victorious. Maybe not. The Viking Raiders right now look like the team to beat. I mean, they beat the champs. And you know what they say, in order for you to beat a champ, you got to beat the champ. They beat the champs. So let's see how it goes, guys. Then we have the Queen, Charlotte Flair, the NXT Women's Champ. She comes down to the ring. She's doing double duty. She's on NXT. She's on Raw. And she's just coming out here gloating, letting everybody know why she's the queen, why she is the one to beat. She wants to set examples. And guess what? She becomes interrupted by who? Liv Morgan. Now, Liv Morgan comes out, and Liv Morgan is kind of throwing jabs at her, telling her, you know, you got where you at because your daddy kind of got you to the dance. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You know, your last name is Flair. Maybe if more of us had a daddy who was a famous professional wrestler, the path would have been a lot easier. But a lot of them have to claw, scratch, and really fight and hustle to get to where they got to get within the profession. So this kind of ignites Charlotte, and this goes into an impromptu match. Charlotte shows her dominance from the beginning, showing Liv that she's strong, showing her that she's not playing no games. Charlotte right now, becoming the NXT Women's Champ, has lit a different fire under Charlotte. She has become super aggressive. She's become super physical. I mean, she will not be denied. She has it in her mind that she is the greatest of all time. She is the queen, and she will make any female in the division bow down to her. So Liv mounts a little bit of offense. You know, she kind of gets into her groove, stunning Charlotte here, stunning Charlotte there. But Charlotte, you know, Charlotte, she's the queen. She's been through it all. She done seen it all. So she stops Liv, comes back, you know, and hits her with this vicious sit-down powerbomb, guys, to go for the pin on Liv Morgan. But Liv actually kicks out. Liv comes back. Liv will not be denied. Liv wants the push. She deserves a push, and she's showing everybody why they need to give her the push. She came out and she showed up against the Queen, the NXT Women's Champ. She gave Charlotte a good fight. She went for her Oblivion finisher to try to beat Charlotte. Charlotte kind of got out of the way, ended up putting Liv in the figure 8. Good night to Liv. She sends Liv home packing and moves on to go to NXT Wednesday night to face Io Shirai for the Women's NXT Championship. That'll be something to watch, guys. I'll be doing a recap on that as well, so stay tuned. Make sure you guys hit the alert button, the bell, so that way when I drop the new content, you guys will be alerted. So, Charlotte's victorious, standing in the middle of the ring, showing everybody why she's the queen, why she's the champ. She's going to have a phenomenal career in the WWE by the time she's done. So then we have the main event. We have Buddy Murphy against the heavyweight champ, Drew McIntyre. Now, Buddy Murphy came out a little earlier and was saying that he was going to beat Drew McIntyre, saying that he believed Seth Rollins was going to beat Drew McIntyre come Money in the Bank, and that one day he wants to be better than Seth Rollins. So, I don't know. There might be a little breakup going on with the faction. I don't think Seth felt some type of way about it. Maybe it was just some friendly camaraderie. But anyway, they have a match. They're fighting in the ring. Drew McIntyre hits Buddy with some great offense, beating him up, throwing him out of the ring. Buddy comes back into the ring, kind of catching Drew off guard. Seth Rollins comes to the middle of the ramp, and he just stands there because he came down to the ring with Buddy Murphy, but he just stays up top at the ramp. So he kind of distracts Drew for a minute. Buddy kind of gets the upper hand on Drew McIntyre. But Drew McIntyre comes back, hits him with the Glasgow kiss. They go back and forth, and Buddy actually ends up hitting Drew McIntyre with a powerbomb from the top rope. It was a good offensive move, in my opinion, by Buddy Murphy, but he did not pick up the victory on the champ. The champ is the champ. He's the Scottish Terminator. You got to do a lot more than powerbomb this guy to pick up the victory on him. He kicks out. Ultimately, he ends up claymoring Buddy Murphy into freaking Neverland, sending him home packing, counting sheep, sleep, out of the ring. He rolls out of the ring, picks up the win. Drew's victorious. So Seth Rollins comes down to the ring, and he kind of gives the assumption that he's going to get into the ring to kind of try to attack Drew McIntyre after the match. And Drew gets on his knees and is telling him, please make my week. I can't wait some Money in the Bank. Get in the ring. Let's do this. Show me. Fight me. Fight me. But Seth kind of backs down. You know, he kind of does the cowardly thing and kind of plays a little mind game with Drew McIntyre. He kind of walks back up the ramp. But then, as soon as Drew turns his back, wham! He strikes. Comes out of nowhere, super kicking Drew. Tries to hit him with the curb stomp, but that wasn't going to happen. Drew McIntyre ends up getting out, grabbing Seth Rollins by the throat, giving him the Glasgow kiss, ready to hit him with the Claymore, and Seth rolls out of the ring like a beaten dog licking his wounds, running to the back. Drew McIntyre's just yelling at him from the ring like, I'll see you at Money in the Bank. We're going to see who's going to be victorious at Money in the Bank. So now, the attack that Seth did to Drew McIntyre lit a fire under this guy's behind. Drew wants him. He's going to beat him down and prove that he is not no Messiah, that he is not no God. And hopefully knock some sense back into this guy, because him and this Messiah gimmick thinking he's a God, I think it's a little ridiculous. He plays the part well, but come on, bro. Change your shoes too. You keep coming to the ring with them stupid shoes on. Put some boots on or something. Them shiny ass shoes. So now for Money in the Bank, guys, this is what we're looking at for the guys Money in the Bank. We have Otis, Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan from SmackDown. We have Aleister Black, AJ Styles, and Baron Corbin. And I don't know, guys. Any one of these guys can possibly take it. Otis right now is kind of a fan favorite with that little storyline that he has going on with Mandy. Rey Mysterio, he's a legend. He's a GOAT. You know, he's a high flyer. Daniel Bryan also has experience in ladder matches. AJ, he's the phenomenal one. You got to keep the eye on him. I believe he's the dark horse. Baron Corbin, you know, his face is a little cut out in the image. I apologize for that, guys, because he's really not that important. He needs to get over it with the whole King thing. But I got my money on Aleister Black. Aleister Black is getting a good push right now. And if he gets that contract, people better beware, because that Black Mass is coming. So now for the women, we have Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Carmella, Miss Mella, all from SmackDown. And for Raw, the participants will be Asuka, Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax. Now, as I'm looking at it from here, Lacey Evans, she has a fighting chance. Mella, not too much. Dana Brooke, not too much. Not against Asuka, not against Shayna Baszler, definitely not against Nia Jax. Nia Jax right now, I know everybody's going to be gunning for her. She's the fan favorite. She's the biggest one out of all of them, the strongest one out of all of them. But I think it's going to actually come down between Asuka, Shayna, and Nia. So you guys got to stay tuned to Money in the Bank, because after that pay-per-view, I'll be doing a recap on that as well. So that's the end of the recap, guys. If you guys like what's going on the channel, make sure you guys give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, you hit that bell, so that we'll be notified when I drop new content. This is Gifted Radical Wrestling. I'm your host, The Gifted One. Till next time.